Hello, this is Brian Kirby. I'm here at Eisenhower Park for my Geography for My Backyard project. So here I am along the Cedar Flats Trail in Eisenhower Park. Here's some rocks that I stumbled upon early in the trail. It looks like the rocks have been kind of breaking apart and collapsing, probably due to just over time, due to just maybe it looks like it's due to some mechanical weathering, where it looks like they've broken apart. Right here it looks like it's kind of you can kind of see where it looks like it's kind of maybe broken down into several pieces down the way. You can see some of the weathering on top of it, where you can kind of see where it's kind of dark. Maybe some of the water that's I guess that's kind of weathered some of the rock here. Also, one of the things that I did learn in the nature trail out here when I was out here on the nature walk was that, you know, sometimes the water doesn't necessarily get to the floor because of the trees that are here. Because of the trees, they tend to absorb a lot of the water, and so sometimes it doesn't get a lot of saturation down here. But as you can see, there is some weathering that has been happening around here, and it looks like these rocks have kind of steadily been breaking apart, and you kind of see some across the area over here. Further in the trail, and I came across this area of rock where you can see where the rock's kind of been broken up by this tree. So like where as natural forces can also break up the rock, you can also see where like plants can also do the same thing as well. So it looks like this tree was growing right in the middle of the rock, and it's broken a lot of the pieces up. So as you can see, there's a lot of pieces of rock that look like they could almost fit together, kind of like in a puzzle-like way. And also it looks like there may have been maybe during wetter seasons that maybe a creek runs through here, because you can see how it kind of looks like there's like a lot of sediment that's kind of been like dragged down, where it's coming from up in the hills, and it's just slowly kind of been coming down, but only during heavier rainy types of the year. So you can kind of see where it looks like a lot of the smaller rock, where as it's been broken down, is turning into smaller pieces, and as it's being dragged down the hill. Here's another instance of where it looks like maybe a creek runs through during wetter times of year. You can kind of see as it kind of goes down, as it's kind of worked its way down. You can see how it's pulled a lot of the rock, and as the rock's been broken down, you can kind of see look at the rock, how the rocks, a lot of some of it's rounded, as it's been steadily been getting weathered, and a lot of the physical weathering that's been happening as rain comes down off these hills. Because out here there's a lot of hills in the hill country, so you kind of you see these quite a bit along the trail. Here's a plate right here, a plate rock, where it looks like it's been steadily getting broken up little by little. You can kind of see some examples of the physical weathering, where you can kind of see the rock, where the rock that's kind of straight ahead right there, where it's been steadily getting cracked. The crack is going to break off pretty soon. You can also see cracks of some of the other. You can kind of see the layers of the rock, where it's been steadily pieces have been kind of been chipping off little by little, whether by contact forces or by physical weathering. I'm here in another area where it looks like a creek kind of runs through the middle of this nature area. You can kind of see the breaks between the different layers of the rock. You can kind of see where it's been separated little by little, as the mechanical and chemical weathering have been kind of wearing it down. You can kind of see where it was probably at that same level, and then little by little it's been as nature's been kind of cutting through it, as water or other forces have been kind of running through here. Even some of the growth of the vegetation around it have kind of been breaking it up little by little. You can see roots that have been kind of breaking through it, and then have been splitting the rock apart. So some of the pieces might be right there, or may have been taken further down after it was completely broken off. Most of the area up here is mostly limestone out in this area, and you can see how, you can really see the effects of time that have just worn down, that have really just, you can kind of see the great separation between the between the two layers of rock there. I mean, just beautiful stuff that you kind of see out here as you go kind of walking through this area. So right here, you can kind of see this shelf you can see how much it's gone down since, I mean, just due to chemical weathering, you can see, or mechanical weathering, all the weathering itself, erosion, just how much has been digging into it. I mean, it's about a good 12 to 18 inches down that from where I'm standing. I mean, you can just see how much it's gone down just and it looks like basically maybe like whenever it's like more of a wet season, that a creek probably runs through here whenever times of heavier rain and stuff. Of course, it's dry right now, so it's not something that constantly runs, but something that, you know, whenever the saturation definitely picks up, you'll probably see quite a bit of water run through here. But yeah, but look at how deep that is. I mean, it's extremely deep. You can kind of see the layers, and you can see where the cracks are starting to kind of open up here. I mean, some of these pieces are probably getting ready to break off, probably pretty soon with some more, when the water comes in, and as the water seeps into those areas and it freezes and it expands it eventually it'll be breaking it off. You can kind of see some of the other stuff, maybe just some of the erosion, just some of the weathering that's kind of broken some of these pieces off. That you can kind of see some pieces that had already broken off, that have already separated. So I'm right here in one of the natural trails, and you can see a lot of the broken rock that's along these trails. And right here you can see this steep decline right here, and you can see the layers of rock as they've been slowly succumbing to the denudation. Of course, denudation is the process in which, you know, that it basically that you see the earth steadily getting lower by the forces of, you know, chemical and mechanical weathering. You can see some of that right there. You can see some of the plants that have been steadily breaking through the rock and have probably broken it up at some point and still continue to do so. But you can see the layers here that has over time, little by little, weathering's just been chipping away at this, and then taking all this stuff downstream. Out here on the trail, you can see kind of the big slope where it's coming down. It's kind of coming like a downhill slope, and then across here you kind of see a lot of the small rock that's probably been dragged down from higher up. Little by little, as it's been weathered down into smaller pieces, it's kind of all been brought down to this area and scattered across as rain and other forces have been pushing it down, whether it be by wind or water just runoff coming down whenever we have heavy downpours. So I'm here at the tower at Eisenhower Park, here looking out over the some of the landscape here. Let me see if I can. So as you can see the hills, you can see all the hills, the hill country. This area is right here, right over the right near the Edwards recharge zone and the Edwards plateau, where the water, as it runs off, it goes down, and when we get heavy rains, of course the ground gets very saturated. It works its way into the ground and raises the water table, you know, elevates it. So and at times where people are using lots of water and they're using excess amounts, of course that does lower the water table. But right here in this area, you can kind of see the hills, and of course, you know, saturation. You know, it's more difficult for the water to infiltrate the ground whenever to have the process of infiltration on steep slopes. So all that water that hits the top of these hills runs off and runs to find lower ground, where eventually it starts to infiltrate into the ground and reach the Edwards Aquifer. And so here's the end of my video. This was Geography in My Backyard. Thank you.